for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, Easy Mutt. Use code VENM at checkout for 5% off. Yo, what's good guys, VENM Fire here back from the video, and today I'm bringing you guys a Blitz in Madden 21. Haven't dropped a lot of these, so it's going to be something new, something unique, something that you don't see every day. Going to be this 3-4 bear in the 4-6 defensive playbook. It's in a couple of other playbooks as well. I think it might be in Giants if I'm not mistaken, but 3-4 bear is a very underrated formation this year. It's similar almost to the 2-4-5 AA gap in the ability to rush, bring pressure, blitz, 7-8 guys, and then you can bluff blitz and send 2 or 3 at any given time. So it's very confusing in that aspect. I'm going to show you guys again how I like to execute the blitz, and then how I like to bluff blitz when people, are going to start blocking their running back. They're going to start blocking 7 guys. How I like to kind of attack that. We're going to adjust our zone drops here. Just set our curl flats to around a base of 20 yards. We're going to, just for that coverage aspect of it. As far as the 3-4 bear, you can do some cool things with it. As you see right here, we can actually get a cornerback at this linebacker spot, kind of. This guy, I believe, acts as our slot cornerback, if I'm not mistaken. In a bunch scheme, I believe this guy right here is going to be man up on the tight end. Now, there's one unfortunate part. It's going to be this guy right here, this spot. Unfortunately, this spot, you cannot get any safeties. Who knows, maybe there's some gymnastics you can do with audibling to maybe get a safety there, but honestly, I don't believe there is. And that's going to be your user for at least part of the blitzing portion. But overall, we can make it work with some coverage, and again, once you drop some people into coverage, you don't have to use that linebacker either. So the actual blitz play we're going to run is going to be this pinch buck 0 at the bottom right there. And again, I mentioned that we're going to be going up against gun bunch, which is one of the better blocking formations in the game that you'll see. So I think it is a pretty fair assumption to go up against this. We're going to show it again, blocking a running back and just sending 5 routes out as we are right here. So let's go ahead, get into it. Taking a look at your player, you see how everybody just kind of runs to the line of scrimmage, referring to those linebackers, of course. They just kind of rush to the line of scrimmage, which is ideal for you. You see how we have a little bit of an error, which is going to be the running back. Now, if I run this stock, let's just run it stock from an offensive standpoint. I can check down to that all day, and that's going to be a crib shot or at least a 20-plus yard gain, depending on how the blocks develop. So that's your immediate issue. And again, it depends formation to formation, but that's your immediate issue. And we're not going to deal with that. What we're going to do is we're just going to blitz everybody. The way you do that is going to be D-pad to the right and that right stick down. The next thing that I like to do in a man coverage scheme is going to be press my defensive backs. That's going to be triangle or Y down on that left stick. Then I also like to shade outside, because you see how Sterling Shepard there has some good leverage. We're going to shade outside. Now that leverage is taken away and our press is going to be more effective. It also realigns everybody better. I'm not sure, sometimes these two guys right here, they align a little bit weird, so this is a good way to kind of counteract that. As I mentioned, you're going to be using Joe Schobert here. Now you can go with the contain. Honestly, I'm not a fan of the contain. It's a little bit weird. Sometimes it'll be super quick, other times it'll just be stuck. Now, obviously when he's sending pressure out, he's going to send the running back out. That's going to be your first responsibility. You're going to watch the running back. So for example, I'm going to snap the ball, I'm going to look, I have to use the running back right there, and I'm going to go chase him. Pretty quick pressure though. So again, when you're going against something like this, it's going to be very difficult to go ahead, just make a quick read, especially if you're sending 5 guys out. That's why you see a lot of people try to go to spread sets against certain blitzing formations. Anyways, I want to take this time to also remind you guys to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers, so if you're new, you like what you see, you're enjoying the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, join the membership right there. It's $5 a month, and you get a couple of additional videos per month. Go ahead, check that out as well. But going back to the point, you're just going to blitz all linebackers, press, and again, this is not as ideal using it with Jacksonville as it would be an ultimate team. You get 99 speed linebackers coming off the edge. You can actually use your 99 speed linebacker, so it's not as much of a deficit and as from that standpoint. So overall, you can definitely get effective with it. You can do a lot more things than maybe we potentially are. If you recognize him, you kind of expect him to send that running back out. You don't have to get on the line of scrimmage. You can kind of get off the ball a little bit and move around. And and that's going to allow you to just defend it a little bit better. You see right there, I actually held Y with my second controller with the offense, trying to throw that table route, and the pressure came through pretty quickly. So again, even though it's bunched, even though you might think maybe is the tight end going to bump him, no, it's just this guy usually coming off very quickly. I think this linebacker is like 88 speed, so he's pretty fast. But you see how just nothing's developed down the field. There's nothing that you would really be able to throw. And again, I recommend just going with the stock press, not shading over the top, because that's going to allow you to just get an extra 1 second of time on the jam animation. So that would be my recommendation to you guys. So let's show it a couple more times, go through, and then let's talk some scenarios if they were to, block certain guys. Here you see that time I'm able to get the ball off, but you see how you can cover it. So you really have not a lot of time. You can be able to get the ball off. Again, Gunslinger would help you shorten that time up a little bit, but it's going to be difficult. It doesn't matter if you can get the ball off if there's nobody open downfield. And again, stock man-to-man is the best way to do this. Realistically, if you wanted to, maybe you could run some weird coverage. Maybe I hard flat this guy or whatever, soft squat him, something like this. But from my standpoint, stock man-to-man coverage is going to be the best way to run the blitz. Let's talk about some of the coverage. Now, actually, we just want to show you guys how the blitz would work if they block the running back. And I think last year was a little bit easier to actually get it to work. Unfortunately, this year it's difficult for me to kind of engage with the linemen. It's just not easy to engage with linemen this year. I think maybe if I stand here, I have a better shot at engaging with him, but you'll see. This is with the blocked running back. I'll just kind of stand here, try to engage, and you see, even though I'm standing right in front of the offensive lineman, it's just very difficult to do. So rather than kind of toying with that, I'll show it again, just standing from the traditional spot, how it just does not work as effective. Again, we're going to block a running back, but I'm going to kind of try all I can do. I'm going to slide over a little bit, and you see how we get guys free. That time I kind of forced to disengage with my user, but it's just not as consistent, and you're giving up a little bit of extra time. In that time, they could find someone open. So in this time point, I could have probably thrown B and got the ball off for potentially a touchdown. You see with my user, I did kind of force a disengage, which is, it is a positive. Or that, I'm not sure what you would call that. Maybe that's a shed, maybe that's a disengage. I would call it a disengage, but you see how it's just a little bit slower. I have a lot of time to pass. In that standpoint, you should be able to get the ball off as a good offensive player. So again, rather than toying, trying to mess with that, we're just going to counteract that by going into coverage. Now, I'm going to stick with the man coverage shell because it's going to save you a lot of adjustments. Now, of course, you're not going to necessarily know whether he's blocking his running back or not. You run a couple times, maybe you get pressure. Once you see that, it's probably better to stick into coverage. And again, there's other plays that you can run. You can run cover threes, different stuff like that. But going back to the point, what we're going to do here is we're going to set everything up relatively the same way. The reason for that is we want to give them the exact same look. Now, when your differences come, first thing that I'm going to do is I'm immediately going to man up X on Y, and I'm immediately going to put curl flats on both sides of the field. Basically, what I would do is I would put B in a curl flat, I would throw Y in a curl flat, and then I would, for this first setup, we're just going to use our Williams here, who is indeed a linebacker. So, stock curl flats, stock man-to-man. If I know I'm going with a coverage type look, I will shade over the top so I don't get burnt. But my responsibility is going to be deep. I'm going to be defending deep routes. Oh, I see B gets burnt by man coverage. I get that. And that was a 3-man rush. Everybody pinched, and we get really good pressure. And again, this is not the best defensive line. These guys are not high overall. Josh Allen is, but he's not the one who gets the pressure. He actually did get the shed. Or I guess he did get the pressure, but you see, it's not a good O-line, but it is still pretty good. And you see how the coverage, just really good downfield. Again, I got to worry about kind of inside these hash marks right here. But really, everything should be defended well. Let's hop into that, taking a step further. Again, I'm going to set everything up the same way. We're going to man up X on Y, Y in a curl flat, B in a curl flat. The next step would be to go to even a 2-man rush. If I were to do this, realistically, I would also throw a bluff blitz on the field. Now, I could go with Josh Allen in the bluff blitz, or I could go with Clavon Chasen in the bluff blitz. And it doesn't really matter. For right now, let's just throw that left guy in the bluff blitz. But you'll see here, I could go with the bluff blitz. Realistically, if I wanted to, I could also maybe user this guy or throw him even in like a middle third, go with something like this. This would not be a terrible option either. So you have options. Even though you have 7 guys on the line of scrimmage, you can take someone off. Now, when I see this looks like 3-4 odd. I'm not expecting pressure as much as when I leave him on the line, go with that first setup. But unfortunately, once you move this guy, you can't really put him back. You see how I try to put him back and he takes off a step. So it kind of ruins it. But this would not be a bad coverage, especially if he's, you've kind of given up the fact that you're blitzing a lot. He's just blocking that running back every play. There's not necessarily a reason to fake it. You can just make your coverage a little bit better. That time you see it's a 2-man rush, but because Josh Allen, he does have abilities which help him out, I would recommend getting some abilities. As far as my abilities, I would get probably 1-2 defensive line abilities. You could get some one-step aheads if you were planning on making this, but those have gone up in AP. But yeah, there's just a lot that you could really do with it. I do think this blitz is pretty solid. Again, there's one downside, and that's going to be the use of linebackers in it, but it's off meta. It's going to be different than things you see online, and it overall can still be, pretty effective. Again, if I wanted to, I could easily just go with something like this. Maybe I throw the linebacker on a bluff blitz. If I can, I guess I can't, but I could put him on like a mid-read. I could actually middle third him from the slot, so this would be probably your best bet at creating a realistic bluff blitz, because from the offensive standpoint, it's the exact same. Oh, I'm going to max protect everybody. I'm going to go with something, like this. Maybe a good man coverage beater. Okay, I see that. I snap the ball. Oh, what the heck? Now it's a 2-3-man rush. And again, I could leave that as a 3-man rush, or I could even throw one of those D linemen in an additional middle zone to help me out with my user. So there's a lot you can do. I think this video was very helpful to some. And overall, if you enjoyed, hit that subscribe button, like the video, hit that follow button. Follow me on Twitter. Link will be down below in the description. And peace. I'm out of here.